my girlfriend, lied about everything. Until I found her real identity. The girl who wasn't I met Lila at a bookstore, of all places. It was a rainy Saturday, and I was killing time, flipping through sci-fi novels in a cramped shop downtown. She was in the poetry section, her dark hair spilling over a navy scarf, her fingers tracing the spines of old books. I caught her eye when she smirked at my choice, a dog-eared copy of Dune. "Bold choice," she said, her voice low and teasing. "You a sandworm guy or just lost in the stacks?" We talked for hours that day, coffee cups piling up as the rain drummed outside. Lila was magnetic, witty, sharp, with this mysterious edge that made every word feel like a secret. She laughed at my dumb jokes, shared my love for obscure music, and had this way of looking at me that made the world blur. By the time we parted, I was smitten. She gave me her number, scribbled on a bookmark. "Don't lose it," she said, her smile half playful, half something I couldn't place. Our first date was a week later, at a jazz bar she picked. She wore a red dress that seemed to pull the light from the room. We danced, her body close, her perfume like cedar and secrets. That night, I knew I was falling. Over the next year, we built something real, or so I thought. Picnics in the park, late-night talks about dreams, her head on my chest as we watched old movies. She was perfect except for the cracks I chose to ignore. The red flags were there early. Lila never talked about her past. I'd ask about her childhood, her family, and she'd pivot with a laugh or a kiss. "Boring stuff," she'd say, steering us to safer topics. She never invited me to her place, always coming to mine instead. "My roommate's weird," she'd explain, but she never named this roommate, and I never pushed. She had rules, too, strange ones. No calling after 10 p.m. ever. "I need my beauty sleep," she'd joke, but her tone was firm. She worked at some vague consulting firm, but I was never allowed to visit, not even to drop off lunch. "It's a secure building," she said once, her eyes darting away. I brushed it all off. Love makes you stupid, doesn't it? I told myself she was private, maybe hurt from some past I'd never understand. I trusted her. I loved her, but doubts crept in. A year in, the gaps in her story started to itch. Once I saw a text on her phone, unlocked for once, from someone named V. It read, "You're cutting it close. Don't slip." She snatched the phone away, laughing it off as a work thing, but her hands shook. Another time, I found a key card in her purse, no logo, just a black strip and a number. When I asked, she said it was for a gym she never mentioned again. I started to wonder, who was Lila? Really? Last week I couldn't take it anymore. She'd canceled plans again, citing a work emergency, at 9 p.m. I'd had a few drinks, my head buzzing with suspicion. So I did something I'm not proud of. I followed her. She left her apartment. Our usual meeting spot was my place, so I'd only been to hers a handful of times. She drove across town to a part of the city I didn't know well, all warehouses and dim streetlights. I kept my distance, heart pounding. She parked outside a nondescript building, no signs, just a steel door. She glanced around, then slipped inside with that key card I'd seen. I waited, my car idling a block away. An hour passed, then 2. Finally, I couldn't stand it. I walked to the door, my breath shallow. It was locked, but a side window was cracked open. I climbed through, landing in a dark hallway that smelled of antiseptic and metal. Voices echoed from deeper inside. I crept forward, my sneakers silent on the tile. The hall opened into a larger room, lit by harsh fluorescence. There were monitors everywhere, maps on the walls, and a table cluttered with files. Lila stood in the center, but she wasn't the Lila I knew. Her hair was pulled back, her face all business, and she was talking to a man in a suit. "The drop's tomorrow," she said. "We can't afford another mistake." I froze. The man handed her a folder, and I caught a glimpse of its label, Operation Cascade. My mind spun. Was she a cop? A spy? Something worse? Then I saw it. A photo on the table. It was me, pinned to a board with red string connecting to names I didn't recognize. I must have made a sound because Lila's head snapped up. Our eyes met, and for a moment I saw panic in her face. Then it hardened. "Jake," she said, stepping toward me. "You shouldn't be here." "Who are you?" I whispered, my voice breaking. She didn't answer. The man in the suit moved fast, grabbing my arm. "He's seen too much," he said. Lila shook her head. "No, I'll handle it." She pulled me into a side room, her grip firm but not cruel. "I wanted to tell you," she said, her voice low, "but I couldn't. My name's not Lila. I work for an agency. Undercover. You were part of my cover, Jake. I didn't mean to fall for you." My stomach dropped. "A cover? So all of it, us, was a lie?" "No," she said, her eyes pleading. The way I felt was real, but I'm not who you think. I'm sorry. I stumbled back, my world unraveling. The woman I loved was a stranger, a ghost with a fake name. I wanted to scream, to run, but before I could, the door burst open. Another man, this one armed, barked orders. "We're compromised, move out!" What happened next was a blur. Shouts, alarms, Lila pulling me toward an exit. We ran into the night, her hand in mine, but it wasn't love anymore. It was survival. She shoved me into my car, told me to drive, to never look back. "Forget me," she said, and then she was gone, swallowed by the dark. I drove home, numb. The truth was a knife. Lila wasn't real. Our love was a script, and I was just a prop. I spent the next day staring at my phone, half expecting her to call, to explain. She didn't. But here's the twist, the one that keeps me up at night. This morning, I found an envelope under my door. No name, no note, just a single photo inside. It was Lila, smiling, in that red dress from our first date. But the man next to her, his arm around her waist, wasn't me. It was my brother, who's been dead for 3 years. Subscribe to this channel to watch real stories like this one. Share this video with your relatives and let us know what you would like to see next.